Hello, I'm Aaron from Last Stand Gamers and welcome to Survival Secrets, the series that is here for you to help you survive a little bit longer in DayZ. I've been looking over the comments and the suggestions for videos and I saw that you guys wanted to know about campsites. But then I went, I'm sure I've done a video on campsites, I'm sure that I know that I could help you out with that sort of thing, and I've done it in previous videos, so I thought I'd address something that's been mentioned in a few videos but didn't get the top likes, and this is stalking and evasion. So I'm going to cover three things in this video. The first one is stalking a single character, the second will be stalking a group, and the third will be trying to stalk a vehicle. And I'm going to talk about the difficulty level, but first of all I'm going to tell you about, I'm on this new server, it's a hardcore mode server, and basically what it does is it doesn't tell you if you've killed them, and it misses quite a few features, and it gives you inaccurate readings of things on the bars that are on the right, so you can actually be hungrier, or you can actually be in danger and so on. It won't actually tell you what's going on. And it's really interesting. Obviously third person is still on. Here's the situation, I'm located here and there's a player here. This is tracking a single player. So what basically has happened, the player's heading north and there's no real way of tracking people who are heading in the free roaming countryside, because in DayZ you can't follow the footprints, you can't do this, so basically you've got to work on how to predict the routes. So predicting their routes is absolutely key, and I was looking here on the map going, right, I don't know where he is, don't know where he's going to go, so he's probably doing a camp. So about an hour later, I came to Novisova just after I'd looted Starry, and Starry was clear of people. I didn't bump into anyone for some strange reason. And then I saw this guy in Novi, and I was a little bit confused. I was like, why is he running in there? There's not much loot there. He obviously had the beginner's backpack, and he had quite a good starting weapon of the AKM, so I was like, he's not really worth taking on. Obviously, if he gets him away, I'm not going to do anything. Currently, what I want to do is get into that barn and see if there's any fuel for the car that I'm using to travel around the map quite fast with. So I'm having a look, watching this player. I'm just trying to let this player go through this area, and then I'll move in and do it myself. So here's the situation. Last Stand Gamers, that's me. He's over here and here, and the player's just ran into the town, so I have to predict his movement pattern. So this is the part of the stalking technique, prediction of movement. So I predict he's going to move to the church, then move to the farm, and then move finally out to the forest. Well, that's what I would do, but obviously sometimes you can be completely wrong with these predictions, and that's why experience and trial and error will eventually get you predicting the right measures 9 out of 10 times. So let's get back to the game. So basically I repositioned myself and found this wall that overcovered the exit to the farm. Obviously this player's not got a car, so he's not really likely to pick up fuel cans and so on. So I was waiting for him to exit, and then I was going to enter the barn, have a look if there was a fuel can, anything I could use. So here he is exiting. I'm going to wait until he gets further up the tree line before I make even a small move across this open ground that could easily be spotted by him. And the worst situation would be I'd have to kill this guy, even though he's not really started out too much, and probably ruin his gameplay experience for him. Okay, so I'm just scanning the tree line, I'm talking to myself in game now saying, oh, my prediction must have been right, and then I spot this guy. I was like, no, this guy is not going to kill that poor guy over there. So I take him out with a fast reaction, and then this guy panics. He starts to panic going, Jesus, I'm being shot, Jesus, I'm being shot. He's not even seeing the other guy, so he starts going back towards the barn. So I was like, oh, damn it, maybe I should just let them kill each other. But then I've kind of had a little sense of pride and went, well, I'll let him escape. So I just completely pulled out of this position and didn't even bother going with that barn. It was too risky. I didn't want to kill that poor guy. So what happens if you're being stalked? What happens if someone's on your tail and you know it, but if you turn around and start engaging, there's a very high chance that they'll win? Well, as I was heading back to my campsite, I realised that someone was actually following me. They were trying to probably line up a shot on me and then kill me, because I don't really believe many two people try to stalk to follow people back to the campsites, because it's a big risk for very little reward in some cases. So I'm waiting here for a good 2 or 3 minutes just to make sure that my paranoia has not got the best of me and it's not just me imagining that there's a player behind me, because it does happen a lot of times. You do pretend to see things in DayZ and these sort of games that are not actually there. You're just a figment of your imagination trying to scare you and trying to put things in line. So here we go, and I was right. There was a guy following me, and look what he bloody had. He's got an SVD with a ghillie wrap on it. Not one of my favourite weapons. I prefer this DMR, of course, but it's still quite a lethal weapon, and he is quite well disguised, so it's very lucky that I picked him up. Sadly, his ghillie suit was a little bit bright, and that's what I probably managed to catch him out with. So I think it's time that we returned the favour and did what this guy was most likely going to do to me, because I doubt he was going to come up behind me and say, oh, hello, Aaron, let's be friends. So I move up behind him, and at this moment I find this is quite funny. He's checking his map, He's trying to work out if he's lost me. Where have I gone? Where's the guy that I was following gone? So he stops here probably to check his map or scan the surroundings for me. I miss. Absolutely epic moment and finish him off. But the most worry is here, since I'm on this hardcore server, I don't know if he's actually dead. So I'm panicking a little bit, so I move in, investigate it, find out he's dead, and just take his loot. Nothing too much, I didn't want the SVD. So a few minutes later I was told that there was a vehicle and a campsite over at the dam area, so I drove my car, parked it up and within me, and then I realised that my friend who had told me this location also told a few other people. And let's say these other people he told were a little bit pissed off at me after I stole a minivan a few days and games before. So basically what I did is decide to pull back and move around. I've only got limited ammunition, so the question is, who's going to go down first? Am I going to take them before they take my car? Well, the car that I found. I couldn't simply just drive off on it, because they would have saw it, they would have heard it, and driving up a hill in a car, as we know, is extremely slow and tedious. So I'm getting in a better position. At this time, I was trying to work out how well coordinated this group were. They were moving in a group of twos, so basically there was one group of people that looked like they had basic equipment. They had M4s, M16, and then there was two guys following them. One was in a ghillie suit, and one had a check backpack, and the gear wasn't too amazing, so I was like, right, these guys are going to get lucky if they hit this car, and I don't see a sniper rifle, so I think I'll be able to deal with this quite well. So I thought, right, I need to reposition to the right, get eyes on the car, and work out if they've actually seen the car, because I was not 100% if they'd been told about it, and you can see the car there. So I was trying to work out, are they going to move to the car? Are they going to move? Did they know I'm here? Has my friend told them that I was going to actually go here? Well, it's not really that much my friend anymore after doing this. So here we go, they've definitely found the car, there's no other way around it. I'm going to have to reposition and get an accurate shot on the car. So here's the situation, what happened. The players started moving around the dam, they didn't cross the dam, so I couldn't get a clear shot on them, so I moved around the river, I just dragged myself across it for ease of use, and positioned myself there where the players, what they did is they moved around, they accidentally spawned the zombies at the barn, luckily they didn't attract them. Well, unluckily for me, because if they did attract them I could have also picked them off, it would have saved a lot of time. Then the players moved in to steal my car. So what I could have done is two things. I could have flanked them all the way around, but it would have been a bit too late, and I probably would have lost the car over it. So I thought my best option was to reposition, get a shot on the car, and probably as they're looking in the tent and the vehicle for what gear is actually in there, I could actually sneak up and possibly shoot them. And I couldn't get a good eyes on her. I knew they were going to take the car. This is where I was getting so angry. I mean, I've already got a car, but there's nothing better than an off-road vehicle, because an off-road vehicle can travel really fast off-road and really fast on-road, where my car on-road, let's just say, it's a little bit scary when you're being shot at. So what my plan was is I was going to sneak up very close using the swamp monster technique that I've shown, and previously I've shown it just for laughs, but I mean it's a really viable technique, because from a distance, if you look at the water, it looks like a flat 2D texture. So basically they can't even see me, so I can get really close, peek out like so, take a shot, and then get back in. So I'm having a look here, they definitely got the car. This is where I went, right, I either shoot or I don't shoot and lose the car. Luckily I shoot and I hit him, but I couldn't tell if he's dead at the moment or I've just wounded him. And there's 3 other players now that are all on the look in this direction, so I decided to get back in the water. Just panic. I'm panicking slightly here. Obviously, you know when you get in a PvP situation, you get that sort of buzz, you get that sort of feeling, you're like, oh Jesus, are they onto me, are they onto me, are they onto me? And then I was looking around, couldn't see any of them. I was like, right, he's gonna flank me. But then I was like, the river's on that side, so they can't flank left, they can only flank right, and I can see the forest. So I've got everything in my initiation. Obviously, you're probably thinking, how's this to do with stalking? Well, to do with stalking, you have to think how you're going to actually capture and kill your prey. And when you're taking on more than one person, it can get complicated. So what I'm thinking here, there's only one way they can really assault me, and it's to run right through the forest, or simply get in the car and try to run off again. But now that guy in that car is now injured or something, they're not actually doing it. So they're panicking, they're not stealing the car, so I'm starting to reposition, I'm moving through the water so they can't see me. And there we go, we've spotted one. Has he spotted me though? No, and I missed again, and I miss again. This really drove me mad. For some reason I was really missing. Normally I'm quite a good shot with this rifle, and that amount of shots gave my position away 100%. So I decided to get back in the water. Now they're probably scanning for my position, they can't see me. And I was panicking here, I was like, is that one guy saw where my muzzle flash came from? He must have saw me, he's got to be an idiot if he didn't actually see my position. So I'm tucked in the water. I didn't see him. It was going quiet, and none of them had actually moved out the forest. I don't know if the sniper was trying to position himself on the left. That was a one shot. It didn't even come close to me, so I was probably just trying to lure me from my position. And there he goes again. He's trying to pull back, and I believe I miss him again. Obviously, when you're in these tense situations, you do tend to miss, but sometimes you just need to get down the fire. And it gets really strange, the situation here, so I thought, right, they've definitely tried to get some flank on me here, so I'm just going to get out of here while they're obviously not watching my position. So I'll run back probably 100 metres and get in this tree line where I've got a lot more cover, but the problem is, this is where they're probably looking for me, so they could easily see me and get me in the back here. I'm trying not to weave too much because it's only attracting more attention. Right, so we're back in this position here, back on the other side of the river. And I can't see the car exactly from this position, so if they decide to get back in and drive off, I'm absolutely screwed. And I don't see any of them. So we've still got 3 players at large, possibly 1 injured if I shot him through the bush in the last. And there we go, he spotted me, I spotted him, but I'm faster on the trigger. Right, so we're moving around. Okay, the thing with DayZ and doing PvP games in ARM is it's about movement. If you sit still, you will be a dead man. I can see the vehicle here again. I'm trying to work out, is anyone here? So I'm going to take out the tyre, but for some reason, my accuracy wasn't very good today. And it probably doesn't make me look like a really bad shot. So I'll reposition. Every time you take a shot, you need to reposition, unless you've got a position that is the perfect position. What I was thinking here on the right is the sniper's probably far right, and he's going to bump into me any moment. So if I keep that tree between me and him, he may not see me, and I might be able to... Oh, there we go. Now this is what I didn't want. I didn't want them to manage to take off in the truck. But what I thought here, this player was injured when he was trying to drive this vehicle, so he was actually in temporary control of it. So what happened is, on his screen now, there was probably that egg-shaped timer, and then suddenly it accelerates into the water, and I was like, what an arsehole. He's done that purely so I couldn't get the vehicle. That's 2 of them down, and I went, there's no point of me actually bothering to go back up there because there's not going to be any good loot, so I'm just going to get the hell out of there. And that is a very important decision in DayZ. You need to remember when to break off, when to stop. Let's talk about stalking vehicles. Stalking vehicles can be absolutely solid at times. It's going to be near impossible because they're going to be faster and going to move faster, and people have asked me how do I do it. Well, it's working out where they travel. People, out of habit, tend to use the same route. So it's simple. I've showed this place before, set up on the same route. I will explain later what happens if you just happen to bump into a vehicle, how you can best track it, and how you best get to its position. And here is just a simple 3-point ambush, and I'm talking about where players are most likely to come from in this position. And once you've tracked a vehicle, if he is travelling across the top north end of the map, he is very likely to come through this position. Obviously be aware that there is a small zombie spawn. Here we have a shotgun, 2 shots, 2 kills. Obviously I was a little bit nervous because it didn't say if they'd been killed on the thing below, so I was just waiting out, seeing if they got out. The vehicle slowed down though, so it seemed to be fine. And there I had myself 1 UAZ, fine and working order. And it was even better because the zombies didn't even decide to rush after me that were over on the left, so I didn't have to jump in and drive off extremely fast. Sadly, what I found out were these were a member of a small group, and I was hunted for probably about 2 hours by this group, and I had to eventually just give up and hide the UAZ so I didn't lose it completely. So what happens if you get in a situation like this where you just see a vehicle in the distance, you see it drive past you? So what do you do? Well, the first thing you want to do, whip out your map, look on your map, look around, and go, where could that vehicle be going? So I saw it travelling down this road. So what is down this road? Well, we've got Gorka, that's on the right, and we have the airfield that's on the left. So this junction there, if I manage to beat the vehicle, that's very unlikely. I could actually stop it and kill it there, but it's unlikely I'm going to beat it there. So is it going to go to Gorka? I'm not really feeling that. Or is it going to go to the airfield area over there? So what are the possibilities? How am I going to do this? If I cut directly across, I could get to the airfield possibly before it. Is it going to go to Gorka? Well, there's not many loot spots there, so I'm going to take that red dot and place it elsewhere. I think it might be going to Starry. So my best place of actually looking for this location is probably to cut direct north and wait for this vehicle to come back up. There's no point of that vehicle or me moving to a position where I don't predict its actual movement. So is it going to go down to Starry? If it's going to go down to Starry, I could cut it off. I could cut through the old fields that are there and actually bump into it at Starry, because if you think about it, the time it's going to take me to walk will be half the vehicle will take half the time, so that means they'll be looting by the time I get there. So it'll be a simple little situation, or maybe with my rifle I could get it at the T-junction like I showed before. Obviously you don't want to go out your way to hunt a vehicle, and you don't want to rush. Rushing in DayZ will get you killed. And that wraps up this episode of Survival Secrets, but what I want to know from you is two things. Number one, what you want to see in the next episode of Survival Secrets, and number two, would you like to see some gameplay, or list below maybe another game that you could do with some help with. That's all for now, and I hope I'll see you next time.